All right, everybody, this is the final run of the evening, and we've got Super Metroid Vitality run by Iron Rusty. Take it away.
Hey everybody, I'm Iron Rusty. I'll be running Super Metroid ROM hack called Vitality, joined in the booth by P Toil, who is the most recent world record holder on 100% Vitality. So we got got a top two here. I've been learning this run, and I'm pushing it as far as I can go for now, and it's at 133. Maybe it'll be 132 soon, but that's my goal. A lot of the things about Super Metroid you recognize, but this is a full ROM hack with all new maps, all new art from Digital Mantra, which I'm really excited to show off. And in the 100% run, you'll get to see all the items. Sadly, there's like little bits that are kind of like out of the way, but P-Toil, I'll turn it over to you and we can get it started in a moment here.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck, Rusty.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I'm P-Toil. I will be commentating the run, and Rusty will be running. So, yeah, as of right now, I was the previous world record holder, but he's been running it recently, and he has beaten my time and gotten a pretty decent time, 133. So we'll see what he can do here.
Okay, well, here's my start. 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off. So this is Vitality by Digital Mantra. Came out in 2020. You'll see we have an intro here. Unfortunately, it can't be skipped, but it's not too long, so it's not too big a deal. So we start on planet Auriga, where now we have been sitting in our ship for a while waiting for orders, and we decide to stretch our legs. So now we can start exploring the world. So this hack is very similar to vanilla Super Metroid in terms of physics and how Samus controls. The physics are vanilla. The only difference is this hack has respin, and we'll see later that Shine Sparks also do not cost energy. And so now we will be making our way to Morph Ball. Yeah, this room here has Morph Ball, and you'll see that there is no fanfare, which makes the rooms flow a lot quicker and nicer. And just soon after, we will also get our first missile. So our next goal now is to go collect bombs, which will open up the world a little more for us and allow us to continue on to the next area. So he's gonna detour here real quick to grab an extra missile before continuing on to collect the bombs. Now, one thing I really like about this hack is just how great it looks visually. There's a lot of great tiling and great rooms in this hack. Really nice to play through. And here are the bombs. We'll see Rusty do a quick morph there to get out, but You can also just bomb through the blocks of the dead trees of there, dead Chozo. And we'll also see Rusty bomb these enemies. They are required to kill before you can leave the room. So see the doors blinking now. We can continue on. We've got a little custom mini boss here where we have to fight these two ooms. They have a weak spot where they're weak to bombs, which we just got. You have to bomb their mouth, which is exposed. That's where they'll take damage, but every once in a while they'll also pick up their tongue and can do damage to you. But they're not too bad. Rusty makes quick work of them. So now that we have bombs, we can start making our way to the next area. Right now we are in Pendulo Moda, but we are going to be heading to Chernobog, which is kind of like the Brinstar of this hack. And on the way we'll collect a few more E-tanks. Yeah, we have a nice little hidden passage up here that leads us to the sea tank. You can make use of a crouch jump to jump out of the sand and get up to that E-tank. So we've got one more E-tank here that we're going to collect, and then we've got to climb the last room of the area, and then we will make our way into Chernobog. This room you're intended to kind of jump through the whole room. There's a lot of like parkour you have to do, but we'll see Rusty just bomb jump up and skip all that. There is a missile in the left of the room, but Rusty will be coming to get that later after we have a few more movement items. Yeah, luckily there's a little hidden passageway you can take up here if you wall jump up the wall. Makes it kind of easy to get up there quicker without having to go around the left. Very nice. So now we're in Chernobog, and the main thing we're going to be heading for here is the charge beam. So climbing up this room to grab this missile up here, hidden in the wall, and then making our way to the bottom of this area where we can find the charge beam. And Rusty hits a nice little moonfall there. Little trick you can do to uncap your fall speed and falls faster. I expect we'll see another one here because this is the long downward shaft in a little bit. Yeah, very nice. And so we're going to be collecting the charge beam now, and what the charge beam allows us to do is there are boulders in this hack, and there are a few of them, and we'll need the charge beam to blast through them. So as you can see here, he'll shoot the charge beam to blast the boulder. And now this is the tall room. As you saw, he fell down. The intended way to get out of here is on the left side there, you can climb up and leave, but Rusty's gonna bomb jump up and then make use of the respin in the sack to respin and then start wall jumping up. And then by doing that, you can skip having to go around. And so now what the hack intends you to do is to go fight Kraid. There's another boulder in front of Kraid, so now that we have charge, we could go through there. And by fighting Kraid, that would allow us to go get super missiles. But what we're going to do is actually come over here, and we're going to get another super pack that we can get without fighting Kraid. That allows us to skip the Kraid fight early. We will still need to go back and fight Kraid later, because the super pack that Kraid gives us still requires us to kill him. So we'll see him later, but we can skip him for now and get him at a later time where it's more convenient. But the super missiles here, this is early supers. Rusty's going to have to bomb jump out of the water here, and then do a horizontal bomb jump over towards the super, and then once again make use of respin to wall jump up. It can be a pretty tricky thing to do, so hopefully Rusty can get it pretty quick. Yeah, getting that bomb jump out of the water can be very tricky. There we go. So he just needs to bomb jump up a bit, and then he can do a horizontal bomb jump over and get the super pack up there. Very nice. And that's super missiles, also known as rockets in this hack. Yeah, I guess I forgot to mention, even though the fanfares are removed, the items still show up the name of the item in the top left for a few seconds. So now that we have supers, that allows us to get past a super door at the top of the shaft to take us into the next area, which will be Ackley's. Kind of like the Norfair of this hack. And there we can get power bombs. At the top left, we're now in Ackley's. We're going to see Rusty climb up this area, and then climb up. Normally here you're supposed to go and collect the ice beam over by fighting Golden Chorizo. Or rather, not by fighting Golden Chorizo, but there's an area near Golden Chorizo where you get ice beam. But instead, what Rusty's going to do is use some nice wall jumps to get past this area while avoiding the rippers here, which otherwise you would freeze to get up. This can also be tricky, but it's not too bad. Some practice. But those rippers can be very deceptive. Luckily, respin makes this much easier. You can still save it, you don't have to fall all the way down if you get hit. Very nice. And so with that, we can enter this sequence of rooms, which will lead us to power bombs. Nice use of the pseudo screw there. Something you don't see very often in vanilla, but it has a good amount of uses in this hack, where you can charge a shot and then spin jump, and you can deal 200 damage to enemies. And for a lot of the earlier game enemies, that'll kill them. That's kind of it's exactly what the name implies, a pseudo screw. So here we have power bombs, and we'll see when Rusty lays the power bomb to open that door. Power bomb actually is quite powerful, at least it appears so here. You can see it destroys a lot of blocks. We'll see Rusty farm a little bit. It can be nice to have a little extra health leaving, and you also want to ideally get another power bomb before you leave. There we go. Now we've got this little mini escape sequence. That power bomb did a lot of damage, and it's starting to cause the place to tear apart. And so coming up, we're going to see that one of the rooms has a cutscene in it, where we get a message from our ship saying that there's an error with the ship. But Russ is going to attempt to get a skip. If he does a frame perfect unmorph, he could skip this cutscene. Let's see if he gets it here. He's going to morph and then unmorph. Good try, but yeah, it's tricky. It's frame perfect. So we see the cutscene there. It causes you to have to wait a little bit. If you can skip it, it saves like 5 seconds. So we saw that error with our gunship. That's kind of our hint that we should probably head back to our gunship and see what's wrong there. And when we get back there, we'll see what's wrong. But now that we have power bombs, there are a few more items we can collect. So we're gonna head back to Trono Bog, and we will be able to get the high jump boots, which was previously locked behind a power bomb door. But before that, actually, we're gonna come here and get Varya's suit. Yeah, this is another room where the pseudo screw becomes very useful. There's a lot of enemies flying around here, and it can be very tricky to dodge them, so the pseudo screw makes it a little easier. Rusty makes quick work of the room, though. Very well done. And so here we have a required heat run. It's not too long, and there are some refills here, so it is very doable to do on 0 tanks, but with 2 tanks, it shouldn't be too hard, especially being able to farm. Yeah, even with a fall like that, you've got plenty of health you can make back up and farm. Nice. A little scary, but we're good. So with this room, the door at the top will not unlock until we've killed all the enemies. And this is another place where the pseudo screw is just very convenient because you don't have a lot of ammo here, so it's not very easy to just spend missiles on all of them because you run out. So the pseudo screw makes it very easy to just spin jump into them and kill them and being able to continue on, get the drop. And with that last enemy killed, you can see the door starts blinking and we can go through. Now, yeah, funny little thing there, if that platform's moving downwards, you can kind of wall jump up through it. And we have Varya. The suit will now protect us from heat, so we can explore the rest of Akles, which we won't do until later, but we now have access to it. Or at least better access, since we don't take heat damage. It also will half all the damage from enemies. There's another route for 100% that gets Varya a little later, and it can be a little faster since if you're getting it later, you would have a little extra movement items here like speed and high jump. That would make this area a little quicker, but without having Varya, it can be a little tricky. A lot of rooms can be easy to take a lot of damage, so it's just a little nicer to get Varya. It's not too big of a time save or time loss. But yes, Varya is intended to be gotten after you get power bombs. Yeah, there's a little tunnel there on the left that Rusty needs to make it into to get a PB pack here, Powerbomb pack. We'll see him make use of the respin here, make it easy to get in there. These enemies are definitely annoying, popping up and hitting you when you least expect it. You think you're safe to roll through and then they just pop up. But now with that, we can head on over to Run Bog and get those high jump boots. Yeah, the power bombs will now let us through these orange doors. And this is where high jump bits can be found. Now with high jump boots, we can jump higher. Lets us get out of this room. And it'll also make a lot of other rooms easier, like on the way to Dragon, which is where we're heading next. So like I said before, we got that gunship error that's hinting us to head back to our gunship, see what's up there. And then we'll be able to fight our next boss, which will be Dragon. The next boss is actually our first boss, since we haven't killed Kraid yet. Nice little shortcut through the area there that you have access to once you have fire bombs. Yeah, the ender here is a little scary, so definitely respect taking the save. This is the big room where originally the first time through you were intended to jump through the whole left side of the room, but instead Rusty had bomb jumped up and wall jumped up. But now he's gonna head over here and get this one missile. And this convenient way to fall down, so definitely nicer to pick up now. Yeah, so now we'll just see Rusty collect a few more ammo packs around this area that we now have access to with bombs and power bombs. And then we will make our way to Dragon and put all the ammo to use. Yeah, even though this is a 100% run, we're still kind of low on E-tanks right now. We will be getting another shortly after Dragon. By the end of the hack, we'll have plenty, and the last few bosses will be a breeze. This room, unfortunately, I had to go around twice just because it drops you off on the right side here. And we want to get over to the left. Nice. Yeah, there's a super pack over here. Jumping over that ledge can be a little tricky. It's very easy to fall down. I've definitely fallen down a few times before. So it's always nice if you can get over there without falling. So now we see here the gunship has been covered in some rocks. That's why there was an error. But since those rocks had fallen, there's now an opening in the left side, or the top left side of that room, where we can enter Dragon's area. So we'll head there after Rusty collects this missile over here, which is locked behind some power bomb blocks. Now Rusty will have to make his way through this morph tunnel here to collect this missile. Now luckily Digital Mantra, the creator of the hack, decided to put a save with a few refills here, which is perfect since we're low on energy, could use the ammo too. Sets us up very nicely for the Dragon fight. The Dragon usually has the intro where the little mini Dragons fly around, but you'll see here, Dragon comes in pretty much immediately. Dragon has much less health, which is balanced so that, because since Dragon's much earlier in the hack. So we'll see Rusty making use of the missiles and supers that he's collected, and maybe also making use of some pseudo screws, which will also do 200 damage to Dragon. Missiles will do 100 and supers should do 300. Yeah, there's a pseudo screw. Should only be a few more, and I expect Dragon will die. Nice. Now with Dragon dead, we can continue on and we can get our next upgrade, which will be down here. We will get Speed Booster. Yeah, Pseudo Screw is a really cool strat for Dragon. You can do it in vanilla as well. The speedrun 90% and like 100% for vanilla usually do Shine Sparks to kill Dragon, but in a category like low percent ice, you might see those. And we also make use of them here, where we have much less ammo, kind of like low percent in vanilla. And although this Dragon seems kind of early, it is the intended time to fight it in this hack. These Kegos can be a little scary because they can do a good amount of damage, but they're usually not too bad. But if you hit them just wrong, they can do a lot of damage and possibly kill you. Rusty makes it through no problem. So now with Speed Booster, Rusty can run through this room nice and fast instead of having to go through a little slowly through that water. And then we'll see here, like I mentioned earlier, Shine Sparks don't drain health in this hack, so we don't have to worry about managing health. At least in terms of the Shine Sparks. And we also get an extra E-Tank here, which makes things a lot nicer. Only having 2 E-Tanks this far into the run is a little scary. Now we've got a little more breathing room. So now Rusty will just be cleaning up the last few ammo packs in this area here, and then we'll be heading on to the next mini boss that's in this area, Batoon. Make good use of speed to get through the speed blocks. This one's really cool. It has the kind of see the water like riding down the ledges. A lot of great tiling in this hack. Very pretty hack. There's only a few more items in this area, and then actually we'll be done with this area for the rest of the game. Speed lets us get into there, get that rocket. And then this room has a lot of missiles, but there's only one that's the real one there. That's a little shortcut there through the room. And I expect we'll see Rusty farm here to have ammo before Batoon. Because at this point, you still want to be using ammo for the boss fights because you don't have any beams besides charge beam, so the charge beam is very weak. So ideally, Rusty would want to only use missiles and supers for the fight, since they do the most damage. Rusty went for a Shine Spark there. It's not intended to get, or required to get out, but it can make it a little nicer. I know he does that for consistency. You can just jump out like that. And so now we can head down to Batoon. This elevator is really cool, seeing all the the room that you're passing through. And all the water flowing down the ledges here. And now we have Batoon. So like I said, Rusty will be making use of those supers and missiles to finish off Batoon. And then we can get Batoon's reward. Batoon's hitbox being a little stingy. Can be really annoying to hit those shots. Nice. I think that was the last missile Rusty had that finished him off. Now we get Spacer Beam. It doesn't unlock anything for us specifically, but it's a nice little boost to damage. And with Batoon dead, a little opening opens up here for another super missile. And with that, that is all the items in this area, the first area, Pendula Moda. Now we'll be heading back into Chornobog. Yeah, the 90% route gets Phaser for damage. Help with the Ridley fight. We will be getting Plasma this run, but we will actually be getting it after Ridley, so we'll still only have Spacer, but we'll also have Wave and Ice, which the 90% run doesn't get. And we'll also have way more missile supers. One annoying thing here is this platform you need to charge a Shine Spark here, or charge Speed Echoes, but unfortunately I had to shoot it to get through, so you have to reload this room. It's really nice that the Shine Sparks don't drain energy. You can make good use of them to traverse this room and get the E-Tank that's up here. And now we'll be fighting Kraid, which was intended to be done earlier, but we're doing it now. As you'll see, there's a boulder, so it was intended to be done just after Charge Beam. We'll see if Rusty can get the Kraid quick kill. Kill Kraid before having Kraid stand up. Very nice. Making a quick work of Kraid. And here we also find the Metacoons. Although, even though they teach us wall jumping, we can just spark right up. And now that Kraid's dead, that actually, if you come to this room earlier, the bottom of this room here is filled with water. But now that Kraid is dead, it drains the water. If you were in that room a little longer, you could see that the water is slowly draining down. And so that was the intended for supers. This room has a missile at the top of the room. You're supposed to go around to the left here, to the left side of the room, and climb up, and then you can take some more passages and get over to it, but we can just jump up, and there's a little shot block there that you can open up. I think it's a bomb block that lets you up there early if you can make the jump. We make use of that to get the item a little quicker. And now, yeah, see, this is kind of... We can go up here now, and we'll fight our next mini-boss, which will be Spore Spawn. Oh, I don't think that super hit. One of the spores had to be annoying and hit Rusty while he was jumping up. The spores can definitely be really annoying. They can get in your way, they can block your shots as you try and shoot them into Spore Spawn. That's why we see Rusty trying to shoot them out. Get them out of the way so that when Spore Spawn opens his mouth, we can get in our supers and our missiles. Oh, almost. I believe Spore Spawn needs 3 more missiles now to die. Should have the same amount of health as in vanilla, which is around 1,000. I think it's 960 exactly, so it takes about 10 missiles. So a couple more missiles and Spore Spawn should be down. Nice. So now that Spore Spawn's dead, we can continue onward. Spore Spawn actually doesn't give us anything progression-wise, but we do get an E-Tank here, which is definitely nice. We're gonna want that. Because after this, we're going to be heading into the next area, which is Taclicora. And Taclicora, it can be a little bit dangerous. A lot of the enemies there hit for a lot, and if you're not careful, you can take a decent bit of damage. Taclicora is unlocked by having Speed Booster, which you can use to get up through those speed blocks. Now we take the big elevator up. Taclicora is kind of a big tree up in space. We have to take this long elevator to get up there. Elevator ride's about like 37, 38 seconds. Pretty long. But it's very cool looking. You can see all the elevator and the space in the background. Rusty will be going into this room to get this missile. This room can be a little weird to traverse because it's hard to tell what's foreground, what's background. And then we've got a little bit of time if you want to thank any donations.
Absolutely. We have a $25 donation from Level Up Leo saying, "Thanks again for having me as a host and a runner. After playing Dadish, I'm hoping to turnip in future marathons. Put the donation towards the Gravity Circuit Minimalist Run."
So here we're going to see Rusty take this save. This, even though it is a nice safety save, it's actually required because you see now the door on the right is blinking. That door doesn't open until you take the save. But now that we've gotten through that, we can fight the next boss, which will be Phantoon. This boss is also same as in the vanilla game. Has 2,500 health. We're still going to use... We don't have wave beam, so we can't do any X factors, but we can make use of Dopplers. Hopefully make decent work of Phantom. And I want to shout out Digital Mantra again, the creator of the hack, because there's some really great graphics and sprites in this hack, especially this Phantom. Really looks awesome. See Phantom getting redder. Shouldn't be too much longer until Phantom's dead. Nice. And we see Rusty only using missiles through the fight and then using the super at the end there, because if you use supers during the fight, it'll enrage Phantom, and that ends up taking a lot of time where you can't damage Phantom. So it's optimal to use a super at the end, and if you kill Phantom with the super, it won't enrage Phantom, it'll just go straight to the death sequence. So now that Phantom's dead, that unlocks a door a little lower where we can get our next upgrade, which will be Grapple. And Grapple will allow us to access the bowling cutscene. Yeah, Rusty just needs to collect a few of the ammo packs that are hidden around here. Another one right up here in this little passage. And then after Rusty gets Grapple here, he'll need to get back up this tall room. So there are a lot of grapple blocks in the room that you're intended to use to get up, but if Rusty, I'm sure he's going to attempt it here to try to get a Shine Spark that makes it a little quicker to get up the room. Missing it the first try, let's see if he can get it again. Very nice. Makes the room way quicker, otherwise you'd have to use Grapple. So now we head back up to where we fought Phantoon. And there's a grapple block up there that we can now get through. So although we want to go through the bowling cutscene, there's a little hidden way up here we can go to get another super missile. And obviously, since this is 100%, we definitely don't want to skip that. But unfortunately, it means you have to go through these spikes again. Which you could grapple over, but it's much slower. And so it's faster to just run across, take a few extra hits. Yes, Rusty currently has the world record for this category at 133. A little morph passage here to take us through one of the rooms we were already in before, but now we kind of get to go through the background. So we can't go through that gate right now since it's facing the other way, but the next upgrade we get will help us with that. We'll be getting Wave Beam. The Wave Beam will give us a damage boost to our beam and also allow us to shoot through walls. You can already see it put to use here to shoot that gate up there and collect the missile. And already we get our next upgrade in this room. Got to go through this little morph maze, having to make use of bomb jumps. But luckily the item that we get will help us on our way out. So now we have Spring Ball that allows Samus to jump while in Morph Ball. And that makes getting out of this morph maze much easier. We saw Rusty go for a ceiling clip there. Would have let him skip a little bit of the maze. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get it. So there's only one more item we're getting here, another E-Tank. And then we will be done with this area. So we've got to take the long elevator back down. But at least we get a nice view as we make our way back into Chernobog. We had already visited the Edakuns just after Crate, although it was a pretty quick visit. We had just sparked right on up through that room. But here we get to see the other animal, the Zecora. This time we actually do need the Zecora's help to help us get to the super. There are some blocks there in front of the super that require the Zecora to run through to break. And so with that, we're gonna head back into Ockley's, and we're going to go get the Ice Beam and fight Golden Teresa. Rusty making great use of the speed booster to get these through these rooms very quickly. Rusty lays that powerbomb to kill the enemies up at the top of the room, since the door won't open until you kill all the enemies. By using the powerbomb, he doesn't have to go up there and shoot them with missiles. Nice short charge, getting that Shine Spark charge so you can get through the speed blocks. We can come over here and get another E-Tank. This room is another room where you have to kill all the enemies before you can proceed. Oh, unfortunate. Sparked into the ceiling, but should be able to get another spark here. Yeah, sparks make it very easy to kill these pirates. Very nice. So now we continue, get that E-tank, and then continue on to get the ice beam. Although you weren't supposed to be able to get this E-tank earlier since you need speed booster, you were supposed to come over this way earlier for ice beam. Because if you remember before getting power bombs, we had to climb that tower with the rippers. So Rusty's gonna get a few more ammo tanks before he can get ice, so we can thank you donations if you have time.
All right, sounds good. We definitely got a $25 donation from RT55J saying Turo Vitality. Put this donation towards the Gravity Circuit Minimalist run. Thank you very much.
The next room has a gate that closes very quickly. So we're gonna see Rusty mockball into the room. Mockball is a trick that you can do to enter morph ball and roll fast with the running speed, so he's able to get through that big gate. Otherwise, you would have had to go up through the ceiling and just go around the gate. So there's the ice beam. Making good use of respin there to, even though he wasn't able to get all the way through, he used respin to prevent himself from falling down. Let's just collecting a few more missiles, and then we can head over to the Golden Drizzle fight. Yeah, the Golden Drizzle fight is unlocked after you get Wave Beam, since it allows you to get past that gate. So we'll see here, the fight won't start until Rusty shoots open the door that's locking that Trizo up there. So there we go. Trizo falls down, and it'll wake up. We'll see Rusty making use of the supers here. That'll do the most damage to Golden Trizo. Unfortunately, can't use the missiles because Golden Trizo will actually just dodge them by stepping to the side. But luckily, Golden Trizo throws out these orbs that you can use to farm up some more supers and get to the fight a little quicker. Yep, there we go. Golden Trizo's down. Golden Trizo was a little stingy with supers there, and though at the end didn't give many drops. But we've got enough to continue. And we've also got another E-Tank up here. At this point in the run, we have so many E-Tanks, there shouldn't really be any more health issues. Making more use of that speed booster to shine spark up. Really helps with those tall shafts. Yeah, we can really tank some hits now. Really not have to worry about enemies too much. Especially now since we're going to get yet another E-Tank. Yeah, Samus is very loaded up. So now we're going to head a little deeper into Ockley's, and then we're actually going to take an elevator down to another area we haven't been to yet, called Ondevald. I'm going to get this super missile here though first. This room was available to us way earlier, but it's way easier to get through the room now. Once we have Ice Beam to freeze the enemies and Speed and High Jump to get through them quicker, and Power Bombs to break through all the bomb blocks there. It just becomes much easier, much more of a breeze now that we're much stronger. These rooms here would normally be heated, but we've got the Varia suit now, so we're protected. We don't take any heat damage. There's a nice little shortcut you can take to the top of the room here if you have Morph. Which you have to. You can't get this far without Morph. But it allows you to have to grapple across. And now we will head down to Ondevald. So here we're going to be getting the gravity suit, which we're actually going to be sequence breaking. We do have access to it, but you're intended after we just fought Golden Chorizo. What you're intended to do is after that you can take another entrance down to Ondevald and fight Bomb Chorizo. And by doing that, you can then get access to gravity from there. But we have come this way and entered Ondevald through the back, and we can't directly access gravity from here, since here to the left, we have to get up this decently tall shaft, and unfortunately, since this area is submerged in water, Samus's movement is restricted. So normally you can't jump up this high, but we're going to make use of a trick called a double springboard jump to get up here. So we'll see Rusty pausing to turn the spring ball back on, and by doing that he can jump, get like multiple spring ball jumps. So he's trying to get one, and then if he gets timing right on the pauses and the spring balls, he can jump a second time. This attempt is looking pretty good. Almost.
Got time for a few donations?
Yeah, I think we have some time while he's going for this trick.
Perfect. So we got a $5 donation from Strotlog saying, "Let's go, Rusty." And we got a $30 donation from Stack saying, "Shout out to Rusty for inspiring us all to explore so many incredible ROM hacks like this. It's awesome to see so much talent and creativity from the Super Metroid hack community." Thank you both. And if you either of you want to put those amounts towards an incentive, just let us know in chat.
And we see Rusty got that double spring ball jump. Now he's able to head over here and get the gravity suit. Yeah, the trick is definitely tricky, so it's not surprising that it took a few tries. Getting it first try is definitely very impressive. So once we get that gravity suit, we'll be able to move through water much easier, and it'll be almost as if the water's not there. We're back to our normal movement. So now with the gravity suit, we can get up here, get this super pack. We'll see Rusty get last few items in this area, and then head back to Ackley's. Yeah, there's a lot of awesome Super Metroid ROM hacks, so it's it's always great to see people like Rusty and other Super Metroid ROM hack players that are playing and running all these ROM hacks. So here we get to see our friend Shack tool. It'll help us get through these blocks. There's a trick that the task can do to the Shack tool allows us to get an E-tank here. The task is able to do a very precise shine spark to get going through this room and just get it from behind. But we have to go through this way. Now we head back to Ockley's, which is the Norfair, and we can start collecting more items there. So there are a few more mine items we need to collect, and then we'll get Space Jump. And Space Jump will make it much easier for us to get to Ridley. There is a lot like the Lower Norfair in the vanilla game. A lot more scarier enemies here, like key hunters, and we get some bigger side hoppers up here. But luckily we've got plenty of energy tanks, so we're not really worried about any of that. We can just tank all the damage as much as we want. This room has some blocks that we need the help from the enemies to break through. We just have to throw them over to get through the blocks. We've got some time if you want to think a donation. That's a really cool deboost there from Rusty, getting hit through the door on the other side of the door and then getting the deboost afterwards. Now to get to the top of the room, we're gonna have to go around here. Make a small detour for that missile. And then there's actually a super at the bottom of the room here, but we need to bring a platform down from the top in order to get it. It's kind of the theme of these few rooms, just having a lot of blocks you need enemies to break through. So we'll see Rusty ride this platform down. And now if he's quick enough, he can get back onto the platform and ride it up. Very nice. Keyhunter's being annoying trying to knock him down, but yeah, very nicely done. If he hadn't gotten that, then he would have had to go back around the left one more time. Oh, so close. Rusty tried to make use of the Shine Spark echoes that come off of when you use the Shine Spark to kill those metal pirates. But still able to make quick work them with super missiles, and now we get the space jump. Yeah, we're getting into the deeper parts of this area where we're gonna find Ridley. A lot more lava here. We're gonna activate this Teresa here to drop the lava level here. And with that, we can spark on up to Ridley's area with lava chasing us out through this volcano. Very convenient missile refill, which we definitely need for the supers since we're only down to one. We definitely want them for Ridley, makes the fight much quicker. Got another set of those metal pirates that we have to kill before we can progress. We'll see him try to go for the spark echoes again. There we go, very nice. So now we have the Ridley fight. Well, mainly just see Rusty making use of the charge beam and supers and missiles to just get as much damage in as we can. Especially when Ridley's poking like this, it's very easy to just aim up and get a ton of missiles in. Yeah, it really looks to be about dead now. Those supers really shred through Ridley's health. Very nice. So this next room here is going to have the acid slowly dropping down. We'll see Rusty, I believe, yeah, he waits for the acid. You can go through the acid and get through the room a little quicker. It saves about 6 seconds, but you also take an extra 300 health of damage. Which, it's a risk if you want to take it, but and I mean, with this many tanks, you might think it's not too bad, but the next room requires you to dive through the acid a bit to get a super missile. So it's much safer to just have as much health as you can have, because this is required if you want to get the super missile. And with all these rippers flying around, it can be kind of tricky to get out, and the acid just kind of chips away at your health very quickly. But Rusty makes good work of that room. Gets out without too much trouble. Very nice, convenient injury refill here. Especially after that acid dive, it's nice to get your injury back up to full. And now with space jump, we can get to that room much easier. Don't have to take the morph tunnel at the top. So we just got a couple more items that we're cleaning up in this area. And then we'll be done with this area actually, and we'll be heading back to Chernobog. Yeah, now that Ridley's dead, we're kind of more in the cleanup phase of the run, where we're going around and getting all the ammo packs that we haven't gotten yet, since we killed all the major bosses. Interestingly enough, the vanilla game, right, you have to kill all 4 of the major bosses, Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley, and then you get access to the final area. But in this hack, you actually only need to kill Ridley. Although, being able to kill Ridley pretty much requires you to kill Dragon as well, but you're not required to kill Kraid or Phantoon. You could skip them if you wanted. So yeah, with that, we are done with this area. That's all the items in Ockley's. Rusty has to wait for this boulder to come to break the block. Yeah, just cleaning up this area, getting some upgrades that we didn't have access to before.
Mind if I pipe up with another donation?
Go ahead.
We got a $20 from Audraxis saying donating $10 for every death in the run. So if Rusty could just die another six times, we'd reach our first milestone.
I don't know if we'll see Rusty die, but there may be times where Rusty will reset. I'm wondering if Ajax is going to count those. This is where we got charge beam earlier, but we couldn't get this before because we didn't have speed, so we're able to get it now. Rusty hitting another awesome moonfall to fall down very fast. It's kind of funny, we're an hour and 20 minutes into the run, and this is actually the first missile door we come across. There aren't many of them in this hack, and you may not even realize, but like the missile doors in this hack they only open on missiles if you shoot it with a Super Rib 1 open. And so, being this far into the run, it's very easy to just think, oh look, a red door, I'll just super that, open it real quick, but you actually have to hit it with a missile. Rusty has to bring the side hopper up to break some of these blocks for him. There we go. That hopper just didn't want to jump up there. Now Rusty's getting the power bombs over here, and this will actually be the last item in Chernobog. This item requires you to enlist the help of one of these trippers to break through some blocks that are blocking this power bomb on the right side. So you have to kind of tripper will fall as you're on it and rise if you're not, so you kind of have to manipulate it to break those blocks. I can see it broke one of them, but it's not the one that's in front of the PV. Oh, so close. Yeah, this can definitely be very annoying. There we go. And that is Chernobog complete. So we've only got this last area that we need to collect items in on Devolved. We were here earlier for the gravity suit, but we only visited the east side of the area, so now we're gonna clean up all the items on the west side. Yeah, Rusty had to make use of the snail there to get through a block that was blocking the missile. And mostly he needs to enlist the help of another snail here to get a super missile. Yeah, now we're gonna go through this area undeveloped. There's some nice upgrades here. The only two upgrades we haven't gotten yet are the screw attack and plasma beam, which are both here. They're both optional, but they're very nice, very useful. So let's see Rusty going into this big room to get a power bomb, and then he'll be making his way down to get screw attack. We have some time if you want to take a donation.
Absolutely. We've got a $10 donation from Kelzagosa saying, "The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace, especially with $10 to stop those darn cancer space pirates."
Awesome, thanks. There's the screw attack. In the vanilla game, screw attack is a very powerful item. It's the last one you get. It'll pretty much one-shot most of the enemies in the game. In this hack, it's been nerfed. It's a little more balanced, where you'll see if we come across any enemies that it can damage, it won't actually kill them in one hit. It does just a little bit of damage every frame, and so it'll like slowly, not too slowly, but it'll shred through the enemies like a little bit instead of just killing them instantly. Might take a few seconds to kill, but that at least kind of makes it feel like a little more like it's actually doing something instead of you just breezing through everything. I think it's a nice little change. But of course, with all the beams and ammo and energy tanks, it's not really needed for us. We're still able to breeze through a lot of these rooms. So we're coming up on plasma beam here. These pink pirates are, well, they're usually pink in the vanilla game, but they're green here. We need plasma to kill them. And we'll need to kill all of them in the room, and then that'll unlock the doors. So we can leave and continue on. Rusty making very quick work of that room. Rusty did something cool there where he shot the enemy. If you have plasma, you can shoot enemies to kind of activate their iframes, and you can actually run through them without taking damage if you time it right. There we can see screw attack not killing it instantly, but doing damage. So here we see Rusty shine spark, and there's a queue there, one of the big flowers that you can shine spark from. And if you line up there, it'll always hit that speed block. And that allows us to get this super missile. So now we're going to see Rusty take this save station here. And that's because this save station is actually required to get the E-Tank. Because what happens here is, what the game intends you to do is you're supposed to take the save station and then enter the room on the left. And the room on the left, actually, once you enter it, it will lock you in. And there's a bunch of acid in there, and it basically kills you. It's a forced death. So what we see Rusty do is just reset the game. And that allows him, you're not required to die, you just have to reset. And you'll see, now he appears actually on the other side of the wall, to the right. It respawns you there instead. And that allows you to get access to the tank. And then you can get that super there, and that's actually the final item of the run. He should now have 100%. And because we've routed this pretty well, he's now right near the end of the hack. The last final area. And so you see here the G4 room is actually G1 in this hack. You only really need Ridley to get to the end. Yeah, Rusty's been playing very well. He's on a pretty good pace right now. So this should be a pretty good time. So now he's entering this final area, LSEC. This is a very cool looking area. Nice moonfall there, being able to clip through some of those platforms because you're moving fast enough. Got the nice city skyline in the landscape. There's not a whole lot in this area. Like the final area in the vanilla game has you fighting a lot of Metroids and then having a big Metroid to deal with. But here it's just kind of a lot of rooms you have to run through. And then we will be coming up on another one of those forced death situations where you're intended to save and then go to the next room where he locks you in and ends up killing you. So we'll see Rusty just resetting again. This room requires you to destroy all these sparks in this machine in the background. Looks like he missed one. Once he gets them all, that door will unlock. There it is. Yeah, like, they can be sneaky because they kind of hide above the screen. So we see him reset here again. These resets, they might seem weird, but if you play the hack, you kind of understand the lore, and once you go into this final area, you kind of realize what's happening with the hack. And what's happening is like kind of Samus is getting cloned. You can see here there's a lot of extra clones of Samus. You can see some clones here that went wrong. So here we're going to come up on the final boss of the run. See, error, kill me. And here we meet this hack's version of Crocomire, which is an amalgamation of Samus parts. Pretty gruesome. If you've ever watched a 100% run, top level 100% run of the vanilla game, you'll see when they get to Croc, they have plasma beam. They can just kind of shoot one shot and it kills Croc in one hit. That's a bug in the game where you can have plasma hit Crocomire a bunch of times, and that has been patched in this hack. So even with plasma, we still have to shoot plenty of shots to get Crocomire dead. But with that, the final boss is dead, and we can get to the last part of the hack. These enemies have to turn yellow before they're vulnerable. And once we kill all three of them, the door will unlock. Now we're gonna take a ride on this train. And here we'll find a lot more of these Samus clones, which Samus is going to go ahead and destroy. You saw I passed a map station just a bit ago. If you had taken it, there's some extra lore on the map screen. We'll see Rusty jumping through these rooms, and the reason why is because on the floor in these rooms there are some effects. Like if you're on the floor, it'll force you into a crouch, and you'll be stuck crouched there for a few seconds. It's supposed to like represent Samus. Samus at this point in the hack is kind of realizing that she's a clone and realizing like she's not the real Samus, and so she's kind of breaking down. So that's what kind of those forced, the panic attacks. But Rusty, for the speed run, we don't need those. We just want to get to the end quickly, so we're just gonna jump over those and get to the end. We see all the extra ships they made for the clones. And once Rusty gets to the ship down here, that is time. GG, Rusty. Yeah, that's a great time. 1:33:47. Not a bad time. Pretty on pace with his, yeah, it's a good time.
Absolutely.
have
GG,
Rusty here.
Rusty.
Thanks for the fun, everybody. Pretty close to the time I was looking for.
Yeah, that's a great time. Great run.
Thanks everybody for hanging out, and I was enjoying all the puns while watching, not laughing too hard. Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks to you both. Do you have any last things to say before we go?
No, thanks again for putting on this marathon. This is great. Glad we could show off this hack. Yeah, thank you.
Well, and thank you both. It was absolutely wonderful to have you here. So thanks, everybody. This is going to be it for tonight. We are going to wrap this up, but don't you worry. There's going to be a few more days of this. Not to mention, we're starting the day off tomorrow with yet another ROM hack for Super Metroid. If I'm correct. That's right, Super Metroid Alliance, run by Linkmeisters. So if you'd like more of that, come back tomorrow at around 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and the fun will continue. So thanks, everybody. Have yourself a good night, and stick around. We're going to send the love somewhere else, and we'll see you back tomorrow.